Solving two-step equations, lesson C, worksheet number 3. Notice this is lesson C and it's worksheet number 3. That's because we did this lesson way back at the beginning of the year. It was the third lesson that we did. And this is the third worksheet on this. So you should know how to do this. Questions like this were on multiple tests already this year. So this is just a review before we do the next lesson. I am going to do the 4 problems that are circled here, 2, 3, 5, and 6. I'm going to do them here in the video, but the rest you'll be on your own. Just a quick reminder, when you're doing two-step equations, you want to box the variable term with the sign in front of it. Notice how in this problem I boxed the plus. That just shows that the 4x is positive. And here, I not only boxed the negative in front of the m, but also put a 1 there to show that the coefficient of m is -1. So the very first thing you want to do is go through and box the variable terms like you can see that I did. Then the first step when solving would be to add or subtract the number outside of the box. And then the second step is to multiply or divide. So you're going to add or subtract the number outside of the box. So let's start with number 2. The number outside of the box is this -15 right here. So the opposite of -15 is +15. So I am going to add 15 to both sides. That allows me to cancel these. I bring down what is in the box. Keep my equal signs lined up. -70 plus 15. Please, please, please use your calculator and put that in exactly how it looks. -70 plus 15 is -55. Last step, I want to add or multiply or divide by the number with the variable. In this case, this is multiplication, so the opposite of multiplication is division. So the number with the variable is -1, so I'm going to divide both sides by -1. In step 1, you do opposite signs, but in step 2, you keep the sign of the number. So m equals negative divided by a negative is +55. Pause your video, get all of that written down. Number 3, the number outside of the box is this -12. The opposite of -12 is +12. So I'm going to add 12 to both sides. The 12s cancel. 36 plus 12 is 48. So 48 equals -6g. Notice I keep the variable on the side that it starts. Do not put the g on the left side. All right, the number with the variable is -6, so I'm going to divide, and it's multiplication, so I'm going to divide both sides by -6. The 6's cancel. -48 divided by 6, again, put it in your calculator just how it looks, and you would get -8. So -8 equals G. Do not flip them around. Pause your video, make sure you have all of that written down. All right, number 5. The number outside of the box is this -2. The opposite of -2 is +2. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides. Cancel the 2's. So I'm going to bring down d over 11. And -8 plus 2, again, make sure you're using your calculator when doing this, because that is not 10 or -10. The signs are different, so -8 plus 2 is -6. Now, this time, this is division, and the opposite of division is multiplication. So the number with the variable is an 11. So instead of dividing by 11, the opposite would be to multiply both sides by 11. The 11's cancel. And D equals -66. Pause your video, get it all written down. Number 6. The number outside the box and on the same side is this -9, and the opposite of -9 would be +9. Or the inverse operation would be to add 9. Remember, what you do to one side of the equation, you do to the other. So my 9's cancel. -5 plus 9 is 4. And I bring down my x over -15. Now again, this is division right here. And the opposite of division, or the inverse operation to division, is multiplication. So I'm going to multiply both sides by -15. And -15 times 4 is -60. Now, remember, after you finish, you want to check your answers. You want to check your answers. So for number 2, I would put in the calculator -15 minus 1 times my answer of 55. And whatever I get, it should equal -70. If it doesn't, I did not do it correctly. For number 3, to check my answer, I would put in, I'm using this right here. So I would put in -12 minus 6 times my answer of -8. And when I'm done, I should get this number 36. So on your own, you're going to check these in your calculator. For number 5, to check this answer, I would use this right here. So I would put my answer over 11 and subtract 2. And I should get -8. For 6, I would be putting this into my calculator. So I would put in my answer of -60 over -15, then subtracting 9, and I should get -5. So if you remember correctly, when you are solving equations, there is no reason to miss any, because you could always check your answers. If you have any questions on how to complete this worksheet, please let me know. One thing I do want to tell you, there are no reciprocals for this worksheet. In worksheets 1 and 2, there were problems where you had to do the reciprocal. For this particular worksheet, there are no reciprocal problems. The second step will either just be straight up multiplication or straight up division. If you have any questions, please let me know.